In our first three videos, we focused on the value delivered to manufacturers of custom products. We highlighted manufacturers of custom furniture, custom campers and RVs, and luxury items like watches and jewelry. I mean, those videos highlighted the front-end magic that customers and manufacturers experience and they're using right now. In this video, we're speaking with Sergei Svistunov, CTO and co-founder of Digital Tails Group. Sergei is the chief architect of the development team. He earned a PhD in computer science with a particular focus on three-dimensional graphics. Now, in this conversation, we're going to discuss the back-end magic that we call the Smart Logic engine. That's our proprietary intellectual property. Now, the Smart Logic engine is the foundation behind all of that front-end 3D magic that users experience. We'll discuss the importance of architecting systems to be scalable and reliable, even with highly complex product configurations with thousands of configuration constraints and options. Now, you can read more about this technology in an article that we published called the Smart Logic Engine, and we'll put the link below the video. We'll also discuss, the difference between the pretty visual configurator and the true configuration engine that, like I said, is behind the scenes. So, Sergei, it's a rare pleasure to speak with you about these topics. I appreciate you taking a break from architecting new customer solutions to speak with me. So,
Yeah.
How are you this afternoon?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So
Yeah.
I didn't touch on much of your background. So could you just highlight a few key points about your experience?
About my experience. So,
Yeah.
I always work with 3D technologies. I think I become interested in 3D technologies back in school and the university. Probably, I think like many people through computer games. Yeah, I was curious about how it's actually work inside and under the hood. So this pushed me to study graphic technologies more deeply, including rendering, shading, mathematics, calculations, GPU-based systems, and so on and so on. So later, this passion converted to my PhD because it's related to computer graphics and mathematical calculations and so on, and physics and all of this. And future, it's converted to a company where I work right now. We use 3D technologies not simply for visualization, but also for explain complex processes, products, show how it's work, and again, calculate all the things inside for production, for example, and manufacturers.
Yeah. You've come a long way from getting your PhD and founding Digital Tails, and now you've worked on some pretty exciting projects for companies all over the world. Now, if I heard you correctly, your passion for working in three-dimensional technologies was your curiosity about, well, how does this work? And and visualizing complex things.
Yeah, but not only visualize, but to understand what is under the hood, how it's work in terms of calculation, in terms of anything inside. Yeah, not just create a good image, but create a logic inside how it's I don't know, in terms of game logic, how colliders work, how physics work inside, how light calculations, how materials work, so all of this.
Now, when a user is looking at the three-dimensional piece of furniture, for example, or a three-dimensional rendering of a camper or an RV, They rotate it and it all looks as you would expect. But could you just touch on the importance of maintaining that dimensional accuracy and the importance of lighting?
Okay, behind the scene, then you see the object in a 3D scene. All that you see is it's a mathematical calculation, because object consists from geometries, vertices, normals, edges, and so on. And we have a lighting get down to the object need to reflect it in a proper way. So yeah, we have a different kind of lighting, diffuse lighting, on lighting, PBR materials, all this stuff. It's how to calculate how the light goes through the object and out of object. For example, when we develop something like diamonds, we need to know how light goes inside and recalculate all this logic. But if you have a just simple object, but just I don't know, just black plane, this is a simple calculation, because they just reflect only one color, and that's it. But in general, all of this is physics about how light go to the object and go and reflect it from them.
Yeah, and if
that's how we see the image.
And you're doing calculations to make sure that the way the lighting looks on a three-dimensional object on your computer screen, you're using mathematics to make sure the lighting is correct.
Yeah, but most of them already implemented in some engine side. So when you create a new project, you don't think about this too much. But if you want again to implement something deeply, again like diamond materials, you need to go down and think about this once more, how light is going inside, how you need to reflect it, and so on. So in basic situation, you don't think about this in development, because many of things are already made. You just use materials, use textures, use all of this stuff. But sometimes you need to go deeper.
Wow. I hadn't really when I looked at some of the solutions that you and your team have configured, I'd go and I'd look at a piece of furniture and I'd look at the way the light reflects off of it and highlights it. But it sounds like it was a whole lot more complicated when you were doing something like a diamond on a piece of jewelry, because the light was it was reflecting off the surface, but then the light had to penetrate inside the diamond and come out looking realistic.
This is one of the hardest things to implement when we talk about visualization. But in our solutions, if we talk about another thing like furniture, like you say, manufacturers and so on, how it's visualized, how lightings go, it's a second part, because in the first place I have a different things like configuration rules, pricing calculation, bill of materials, production calculations, cut lists, European integrations, I don't know, all this that we don't see when we just open a page. For example, on the e-commerce side with a 3D configurator, we see a good picture, but the main things go on behind the scene, because we need too much things to do to automate all the process, not just to configure the project, but we need to automate production, we need to automate sales, we need to automate all the process for the customer. So
now in the article, it was titled Smart Logic Engine, it described a term that you probably came up with, the coded brain. Or maybe Petra came up with that. So can
Yeah.
you elaborate on what the heck does that mean? A coded brain.
It's. I think it's more about how we encode in a product knowledge inside our engine. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
the logic layer need to understand what combination are possible, what dimensional load, how materials behaves, what manufacturer limits we have, how we need to affect pricing,
Mm-hmm.
specifications, production output, yeah, and so on. So I think this is about all this stuff that I talked before. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about um, the type of constraints or the rules engine that you have to deal with? Because a customer might, let's stick with furniture as an example, a customer might configure, a custom piece of furniture, but if it's not manufacturable,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So can you talk about how the algorithm behind the scenes has to make sure that when the customer built or something, it's buildable?
Yeah. It's the rule of this architecture depends heavily on industry, as you say it. Yeah. For
Mm,
example, if we say it about manufacturer for furniture, yeah, we need to know exactly how they produce the product, because
mm,
the factory may receive only materials boards in certain size. That's why we
mm,
have a limits for height, for sizes, and so um, they have received only the predictable assemblable rules. Like they for example, they produce a modulus with standard sizes, standard doors, and so on. And we need to
mm-hmm.
combine these modulars by some rules. This modular can be combined only with this, another modular, and so on. So we need to reproduce all the logic in our 3D, or not only 3D application, all the
Mm-hmm.
logic, how this product built in manufacturing, in real manufacturing, how
Yeah.
limited that's exactly limitation they have, why, and so on. So we need to reproduce it to show all correctly, and then we need to convert it to for input to manufacture. Yeah, so we need to
Mm-hmm.
calculate all the things in the world, how to cut panels.
Oh, yeah.
to
Yeah.
create all the things. So yeah, but if we go to another industry, something
Mm.
like jewelry again, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, this on the opposite side. Here we have a simple logic because we have size, we have carats, colors,
Mm.
and that's it. Yeah, so we have a simple logic, but we have a difficulty with visualization. So it's really depends on
Oh,
industry.
yeah. Yeah, it does. Actually, one of our customers that makes custom leather watch straps. I mean, I ordered one for my watch, right? So you say, oh, okay, that's pretty simple. Well, that's pretty simple. There we go. And black leather, red stitching, a little fancy back. But and actually the founder was a former Google software engineer, David. And when I met with him, he said that yeah, it's it's relatively it seems simple for the customer to select their options, but they have so many options that they have close to 1 million different combinations that a customer might come up with, like whether they choose the material, the thread colors, the whatever it is. And then these things have to be fabricated, in this case by hand. But in the case of furniture manufacturers or yachts, um, you highlighted the fact that you can render something in 3D on screen, but then that information has to essentially inform the manufacturing floors, the CNC machines, and how do you fabricate this thing? So it's
exactly,
yeah, the customers
yeah.
doesn't even see all of that.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why our clients think about configurator and solution like this, because if you have too many options, it's not simple to just put a big catalog for your customers, and it's messy. You can't find everything you need. But in configurator, you have a simple options like core, like materials and so on, and you can just select what you want, and you don't need to find in a big catalog all these items. That's why it's work.
When we bring on a new customer and we start the discovery phase of what it is they want us to build for them, what are some of the misconceptions that companies have as they start this discovery process with us? Like,
one of them, it's many of them thinks that implement solution like configurator and CPQ solution, it's too expensive, but it's not true usually, because we can start from something simple, integrate it in a e-commerce site, for example, measure results, and go step by step to integrate it with the systems and so on and so on. The second things, it's about our questions on discovery phase, because we always try to ask about production, about what results client want to achieve, and so on. And not all understand why we ask these questions, but for us it's really important. We need to know deeply how it's produced, how they do it, and what exactly values they client need to achieve. For example, conversion improvements or something else. We need to know it and measure results. And what else?
You make it look easy, and they think, oh, this is easy. This shouldn't cost very much. Look at, it's just a three-dimensional thing. How hard can that be?
One more thing about this. One of the misunderstanding or misconception. Most of the customer thinks that when we implement a configurator and integrate it, for example, for your e-commerce site, they will get the results in one click. Next day, they have a good conversions, all is good. But it's usually it's not possible. We need the time to test things, to measure how it's work and improve it.
Now, and you mentioned CPQ, and that stands for configurator price quote.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Okay, And now, just thinking about where this configurator technology is evolving, do you have any thoughts about what the future looks like?
About future, it's too hard to predict, because right now we in a really interesting time, because right now I have an AI technology, and all around changes too fast. So it's not easy to predict, but it's for sure will affect anything. I think it's affect development already. So we have we can do things better and quickly. We'll have some new features like AI assistants, intelligence recommendation systems, adaptive user experience. All of this stuff will be included in all technologies. If we talk about some low-level technologies, I think in near future we will see a lot of configurators and any stuff in 3D and web using web GPU technology. Right now, most of them work on WebGL technology, but I think in near future we will see a lot of web GPU examples. Yeah.
Wow. What do you think about when, you know, a potential customer sees one of examples of our work and they say, well, I'm just going to vibe code that. I'm just going to use Claude and have Claude write the code to make this beautiful thing. What are your thoughts on when a customer just says, oh, I'll just do it myself?
Yeah, we have some of the clients right now, but it works good, but only on prototyping. Yeah, so it's just if you don't want to write too many documents, you can create a prototype like this, yeah, and we'll better understand what you want, but. It's too hard to implement right solution integrated with a different system, integrated to the site correctly, make it really looks beautiful, and too many details what you need to mention, and but for us, we for sure we use the technologies, we use the code codecs and all of this stuff and development, but we know what we want. we know how to write prompts, how to write specifications, how to do all of this stuff. We have examples, and so
well, excellent. Well, Sergei, I promised that I would just take up a half an hour of your time, and so we're almost up. So so thank you very much for taking a break from development. I appreciate your time very much. So in the next TED Talk video, we'll be talking about a little bit more about this digital thread that solves the problem of the data silo problem, where product data needs to get integrated from customer configuration through manufacturing and linking all of the critical data across systems that might include front-end configurator, sales tools, customer relationship management systems, ERP for manufacturing, and product lifecycle management systems. So, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this talk, we have an article that you can read, and called the Smart Logic Engine, and we'll put the URL below. Sergei, thanks, brother. It was nice having a chance
to talk to you.
All right. Talk to you soon.